Hello everyone, welcome back to Code with Abby, where we simplify complex technical concepts for you. In today's video, we are diving into an important SQL Server topic, select into versus insert into select. Imagine you need to quickly copy data from one table to another, maybe even from one database to another. How do you do it efficiently? That's where these two powerful SQL statements come into play. For example, if you want to transfer customers record from your main database to an archive database, should you use select into or insert into select? What's the difference? Which one is faster and better suited for your needs? By end of this video, you will not only understand these concepts with practical examples, but also be prepared for interviews. We have got the top 5 most commonly asked questions on this topic along with their answers. So make sure you watch till the end. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support keeps us motivated to bring more high quality content. Let's get started. I am in SQL Server Management Studio and going to create one table. This table is going to be used throughout this session. This table is TBL employees and this has got 4 fields: employee ID, which is of primary type, it's a primary key, and also an identity constraint applied to this. It has got another field name called employee name, which has varchar 100 size, department, which has also got a constraint, and the constraint is department should fall within these values. It cannot be anything else. It can be maybe IT, HR, admin, or sales. And eventually the 4th field is salary, EMP salary, which is of full float type. We are also creating a non-cluster index. This is a new term for you, but just to make you understand, like when we create a primary key, a cluster index gets created. We can also create additional index on other fields, and that is what we call it. Another type of index is non-clustered index. I know I'm going to discuss these concepts in detail in coming episodes, and in this case we are creating over employee name field, and there is a need for this. That's why I'm going to create it. So let's create this table and insert couple of records to this. We have inserted the records here, and you can check these records have been inserted. We have all 11 records here. You can see Rajkumar Sharma sales 80,000, Sumit Thakur admin 70,000, and like that we have all records out here. Make sense? So the concept is that we are going to use select into and insert into select. There are 2 commands. So basically these commands, both the commands select into and insert into select, are used to copy data from one table to another, and these table can be in another database as well. So in this list you see that one database here like department DB, and you can see another database called master. So if you want to transfer data from this database to this database or this to this, that is also possible using these commands. So I will quickly show one command for you, and then I can explain these commands in detail. We are going to copy the data from one table to another using this command. So the command start with select, star means the all fields, into this is a new table. So does this table exist already? So no, this table doesn't exist already. So how can we make sure? Let's go and try to see if this table exists already here. So this table doesn't exist. So while writing select into, it is not necessary that table should be existing earlier. So let's go and do this. So we have executed. So what select into does it creates the new table and it copies the structure and data both. If I'm saying a structure, it copies the fields and their sizes, but not the other things. Let's go and verify these 2 tables. So we have got the similar record in both of the tables. You can see here 11 records in this next table, and the 11 records in the TBL employees here, 11 records is new TBL employees here. Let's go and try to understand these commands. First command is select into. Select into creates a new table and insert the selected data into it. It doesn't require the destination table to exist, and we have already seen beforehand, and copies both the structure and the data from source table. So if I say structure, it copies the field names and their sizes. Make sense? If you're talking about insert into select, which is the second command, we have not seen the example, but let's define it. Insert data into existing table. So basic difference is that select into doesn't require already a table to exist, the destination table, but insert into select requires a destination table to exist. So if there is no destination table, it will fail. And the destination table must exist beforehand before the required schema. And with the same schema, the schema is the table structure of the source should be matching with the table structure of the destination. Make sense? So this is how we define both of them. How can we write two commands? So these are the two ways. Select star into, this is a new table. This is not necessary to be existing earlier, and from TBL employees. But second way of writing, insert into new table 1 employees, select a star from TBL employees. And this new table, since we are using insert into select, so in case of insert into select, the table has to exist beforehand, but this table should not be existing beforehand. It's not required to be existed, right? There is no table required, it copies. Different ways to write select into. The first way, select star into new, so it creates a new TBL employees and then it copies all the data from employees table. If you don't want to copy all the data, you want to select only the selected fields like only employee ID and employee name, that can also be done. You see here. To create a new empty table, you can create new empty table, no data but only the structure. So select all into new empty table from employees where 1 equals 0, that is a false statement. So this will copy the structure, full structure from one table to another. Here a new empty table will be created which will have the same structure as TBL employees. Copy data from one table of other database. So let's say I have two databases. The one database is the current where I am sitting right now, and I want to copy the records from another database called apartment DB, and the table of that DB is resident table from where I want to copy the data. That's we can also do the same. Let's go and try to understand the difference between select into and insert into select. So creating new table, does select into creates new table? Yes, but insert into doesn't. You have to create the table. The first point is clear. Second point, preserves constraint and indexes. This doesn't preserve. Like if you have written some constraint, means primary key or let's say check or default something, that is not carried over, that is not brought to this destination table. But insert into that preserves, because then you are creating a table and you are yourself is introducing these all things, indexes and all. Like can be used multiple times? No, only first time, because second time when you will try to use, it will give you the error. And support copying a specific column? Yes, and in both of the cases. Faster for large data inserts? Yes, but not faster for large data insert. And support table with identity column? Select into doesn't, but insert into supports that. Make sense? Let's go and see these all in action in SQL Server Management Studio. I'm back in SQL Server Management Studio, and we had seen that we created one table and we copied that table from that data of that table into a new table. This new TBL employee did not exist earlier, but now it is existing, and you can see these records of with those both the tables. Let's go and try something else. So here we are going to discuss the second case where we will copy selected columns from one table to another. Let's check it here that new TBL employees 1 doesn't exist here. So we can check it by supplying this command, select all from new TBL employees. So this can copy the data to this new table. So let's go and then execute this command. 11 records have been inserted, and you see there instead of star we are writing the column list. Let's go and check these both tables. This is the original table, TBL employees, and these are the copies data on this table. Yeah, let's go and try to see how can we create only empty table. So new empty table is something that is not existing here in this database. So let's go and try to execute the same command. Select star into new employee table from TBL employees where 1 equals 0. So it is a false command. So let's go and try to see. We have executed, 0 records copied. So it is not copying the data, but it has copied the structure. How can we see? Let's say and go select this new TBL employee and press Alt and F1, both key combination. Once you press Alt and F1, it shows you all the table structure details. So you see that employee integer, everything is there. But the one thing that we see here is it has not copied any constraint, because the original table, if I go and try to show you the original table in next tab, so I'm saying select all from TBL employees. So TBL employees, and let's say these are the data. If I'm selecting this again and Alt and F1, so you see this will show you lots of other things, like this shows you some indexes also getting created. But when you create the empty table, it didn't copy the indexes, it didn't copy all the constraint from the source table. So it copies the structure but doesn't copy the other stuffs, like if it has got some indexes, it has got some constraint, stuff like that. Make sense? Okay, so this is how we can create an empty table. Make sure that empty table is just an empty table, the structure, but doesn't copy anything else like constraint and indexes over there. Copying data from another DB. So we have two DBs here. There's another DB called apartment DB, and in that there is a table called residence table. So if I come here and show you the apartment DB here and expand the tables, you see there is a table called resident right here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm copying these all resident data to this one. And in a master table, there would be in master database, there would be a new table created named new resident. So this way we can copy data from other database tables to the current database table. Let's go and execute this. So this got succeeded. 200 records have been copied. And if I'm going to new resident, so see this is all data got copied from the other database. So this way you can copy data from another database. So here new one TBL employee does not exist right now. So if it is not existing, so you know from the difference, insert into select requires a table has to be existed by default beforehand. So if I'm going to do this insert, you see this is telling that invalid object new TBL employees, new one TBL employees, because this table does not exist. So this table has to be created, then only you can perform insert into select command. Make sense? So let's go and create this table. So we create this table here. The table has got created. And now let's also create the cluster index. The non-cluster index got created. And now let's go to do the insert statement. The one thing to be noticed here is I am supplying the name of the columns instead of a star. And that is because this particular table has got something called identity, and identity should not be supplied anywhere. If your field is identity, you should not supply value for that. It automatically takes an auto increment. We have some way wherein we can also supply values to identity table. You can refer to our previous video. I can give the link to the I button so that you can refer that. But generally, if you are creating an identity field, the intention is not to supply value to that. Make sense? So that's where I have given the list of columns here. Let's go and execute this. This get executed, and this way you have data in both the tables. So this way you can copy data from one table to another using insert into select. Make sense? We have come here to check one concept called when to use which. I mean, if you are going to use select into or insert into select, in what scenario? If you want to create a new table, obviously select into has to be used. If you are appending data to existing table, no appending of data is possible using select into. So in that case, you have to use insert into. Copying large amount of data, then select into is considered as faster and insert into slower there, because it has to take care of lot many other things. Preserving indexes and constants, since you are creating already a table and you are going to create constant and indexes, in that case insert into is only the option, because when you use select into, no index or no constants get copied. I have already shown you in the example. Creating temporary table for processing, obviously select into is the option. Let's go and explore 5 top interview questions and their answers. The first question is, why select into faster than insert into? There are reasons. Number 1, minimally logged when the database is in simple bulk logged recovery mode. So you can set this mode. So when it is enabled, so if you are doing select into, it doesn't have to maintain lot many other things, and it also reduces the disk input output overheads, and hence it becomes faster in that case. Secondly, it doesn't enforce constant indexes or triggers, that making it faster. Trigger is a new term for you here, but please bear with me. This is something which we can write at the top of tables, and this is something which the script or the activity that gets invoked automatically based on some activities. So I will talk about this thing in detail in coming episodes, but for now, just make yourself understand is that constants, index, or any such things like that are not copied or not taken care of in case of select into. That's where it is faster. And the third is insert into is fully logged. When it is being copied, then it is fully logged, so causing more transaction logs activities. Hence, select into considered to be faster, and always it is faster. Question number 2. Question number 2 is, can you copy only the structure of the table? We have already seen this example, and we can do it this way. Select star into new table from TVL employees, the source table where 1 equals 0. Third question, what are the risks of using select into in production database? There are some risks. Using select into in production database may come up with several risks. Number 1, locking issues. It can lock the systems, because what it does, it right away goes and try to do the inserts. No constant can be copied, no indexes can be used, and cannot be rolled back once it is done. So we cannot write we cannot write within the commit and rollback stuffs. So this is something which is not suggested for production databases. When should you use select into instead of insert into? So when you need to create a new table dynamically, you are not going to bother about creating the table for copying the data. When you don't need constant indexes or triggers on the new table, and you want it to be done faster, so faster bulk inserts, and mainly when you are storing data temporarily, so in those scenarios, you should use select into over insert into. And the final question is, can you use select into to copy data from different databases? Yes, we can, and we have already seen in our examples. Select all into the current table name. This is a dynamic table which will be created from the separate database name. DBO is the precedence that has to be written along with the table name, and this is the table name. So it copies resident data from apartment DB to new resident table in the current DB. Make sense? I hope that the concepts of select into and insert into select that I have discussed with you is pretty much clear to you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more high quality technical content. Also press the bell icon so that you will have future notifications. Drop your questions in comments and I will be happy to answer them. See you in the next one.